All right, West Virginia fans, if you are still awake and you are still watching this game, you're probably watching this and don't have a good vibe around the team right now. So instead of doing a post game reaction, I figured I'd hop on here and just kind of react to what we've seen so far from West Virginia. Just seems to be such a brutal night for West Virginia overall. Um, 20 passing yards tonight so far. I mean, they're still halfway through the third quarter, but just can't get anything going offensively. The defense looks really poor right now, giving a big play after big play. Special teams just gave up a fake field goal, so not much to take here from this game right now. So I figured instead of waiting for the post game, I'll try something different and hop on. Coop said, "We suck, lol." Yeah, man, it's been brutal. And I decided, you know what? I changed things up. The kids are sleeping tonight. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna hop on now, see if anyone's on, and just watch this in real time with people. I don't usually get a chance to do this because I have kids. So feel free to put comments in and comment. We're here. It's 12:50 at night. So if you're still watching this and you're that committed, comment and let me know how you feel. I know for me, I'm just discouraged. I don't know where to go from here. So instead of planning a show or post game reaction, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna hit live and see who hops on and see like that. Let's see what Coop says. Put Scotty back in, shaking my head. Yeah, I actually thought they took Scotty out a little too early. He came in and had like a 40-yard run and sparked the offense, and then we're going right back to Khalil Wilkins. Not to be too hard on Rich Rod, but it seems like some of the quarterback decisions this year haven't made much sense. You go back to the Pitt game and putting Scotty Fox in there when you're winning didn't make much sense. It just hasn't made sense. It's tough. Yeah, it's really tough, man. Watching a team have 20 passing yards through a 2.5 quarters is rough, especially when we had back when I was in college, not to sound like the old guy, but back when I was in college, we were putting up 70 points at Geno Smith and Tavon, and now we're here. It sucks, it really does. And I don't know. There's no silver linings to take from this game at all. Play calling is terrible. Khalil is taking too many hits. Yeah, he's gonna be bruised up after this one. It's just absolutely brutal. Um, we sold like 33,000 season tickets, and I wonder if people are regretting that right now. I hate to say that. I know for me, I have my hotel for the Colorado game scheduled until October 7th. I have to make a decision, and I don't know. Right now, from what I'm seeing the last 3 weeks, I think I might be canceling that. Unfortunately, not to be a fair weather fan, but for me to spend $1,000 to go down there doesn't make much sense. This is like me trying to rebuild Ball State in a dynasty on Heisman. Yeah, it's so alarming to see where we're at. Like I'm watching it right now. Dior Hubbard, there's just no running lanes, and you see what BYU is doing to us. And that's how a Rich Rod offense should be ran. You hit them with a pass and you hit them with the quarterback run. And right now the holes aren't there. There's no positives to take from this. On a positive side, at least we got some first downs this time. Yeah, at least we put up 10 points this time. At least the helmets look good. I'm going to try to find some silver linings in this game. We'll go through the second half together and watch this and see what's going on. But um, right now, again, quarterback draw. I mean, are we going to try to set a record for how many times we run a quarterback draw? It's just I don't. Oh my god, it's so frustrating to watch. Yeah, Ty Edwards, Coop mentioned him. He's got like 2 carries and he's come in at weird times with like a 3rd and short or 4th and long. I want to just see him get a series. No Sincere Bowers tonight yet. And look at it. It's already 3rd and 10, right? We're already in 3rd and long situations. 4 for 10, 20 yards passing. All right, first down. Nice pass to Preston Fox. That's how you get the offense going. All right, he had some time to throw the ball there, and he stepped up and made a nice throw. They got their pace going. Let's see if we can get some silver linings here. Nothing. No run game. I mean, just as soon as Dior Hubbard touches the ball, it's a -2 loss. So I want to ask you guys in the chat while we're watching this game too. Do you think the quarterback next year's quarterback's on this roster? Not to be too hard on Wilkins, but I really think next year they need to go to the portal and get someone that's legit and have a quarterback number one coming into the season. We can't say we have 5 quarterbacks that we can win with next year. Fake run, but again, we're going to be in third and long situation, right? It's going to be a 3rd and 8 situation already. No one in the Big 12 gets a W tune-up game next week. Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like we're the old Kansas, right, where everyone's probably circling on West Virginia on the schedule right now as a get right game, and that's unfortunately kind of where we're at as a program. It's really alarming. All right, 3rd and 8. Let's see what they do here. Again, just constantly in 3rd and 8 situations. Again, another. All right, all right. Grayson Barnes. All right, first down Mountaineers. We'll take it. First down Mountaineers. All right, they're gonna get to their pace. All right, maybe who knows? Maybe we can get some positive momentum here as a drive to look on to for the future. All right, Wilkins going deep. Oh, Cam Vaughn, and it's intercepted. Oh man, that's the type of season that has been for West Virginia. Right there. So it looked like Khalil Wilkins was about to connect with Cam Vaughn, and then Vaughn hit off his hands, and it's an interception for BYU, and then they get the ball back. Yeah, Coop, man, it's been that bad. Could you imagine if, by the way, if we didn't win the pick game, how much of a dumpster fire the season would be if we didn't win the pick game? Look here, right? Cam Vaughn catches the ball or didn't catch the ball, and it's intercepted, and we lose all momentum. Yeah, truth, man. Yeah, I think we're all feeling that right now, man. It's just I don't know. I think this might be worse than 2013, to be honest with you, because at least in 2013 you had some of these pieces coming back the next year. Like we had, Clint Trickett coming back the next year, Kevin White, Mario Alford. A lot of those guys were coming back. 10 out of 11 starters on defense aren't coming back. We have no answers for like next year. I truly think that in the portal this year, you're going to see another massive turnover of players this year coming. So it's just, I couldn't imagine what it's like to be in that locker room right now with Nico Markiel transferring out of the program. Essentially, you lose all the, Jaheim White. You win that game against Pitt and you think things are on the right track, but right now it's just a brutal time to be a West Virginia fan. You would think you would at least get lucky twice. Now, I actually think that this is like Murphy's Law, right? What can go wrong will go wrong, right? You think back to last week, we had a touchdown that it seemed like that was going to get us back in that game, and then there was a false start in Grayson Barnes. It gets called back. Being a Mountaineer fan ain't for the weak. I always tell people that, but yeah, man, I don't know I don't know what positives there are really right now to take out of this first half of the season besides that Pitt win, and that feels like ages ago. That feels like 3 years ago. I heard that Nico broke up. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna speculate on that. I don't know. That story there, unfortunately, is not with the program. I think it was kind of inevitable, though. I'm not sure if Nico would have been here next year anyway. Yeah, injuries and schedule have really screwed us this year. Yeah, unfortunately, that's true. It's kind of hard to evaluate the season a little bit because of the injuries. I mean, if we had Jaheim White, would we look this bad? But I think even with Jaheim White, with this offensive line, like what would he have really done? I mean, this offensive line is so bad. Jalen Henderson, I'm kind of disappointed. I thought he'd be a lot better. And like I said, Rich Rod kind of told us all offseason that he has 5 quarterbacks that he can win with. Right now, it looks like we have none, unfortunately. And I think that's not unfair to say. I truly think that this year we're going to have to go into the portal and find some guys that can help us next year at quarterback position. We cannot have a year where it's like, oh, it's maybe this guy, maybe that guy. Like, we need to say, okay, this is the guy that's going to be the quarterback for next year. Kind of like Will Greer was, or even, I hate to say it, but JT Daniels, even though that kind of blew up in our face, at least with JT, you had some hope. What's here it says basketball is the only positive. Yeah, basketball's coming. I'm going to do a preview on that during the bye week. I'm actually going to do a West Virginia wrestling preview too. I'm a former wrestler myself, so want to give those guys some credit. Let's see some other comments. Brian, hard to play in a powerful conference with mid-level G5 talent. Yeah. I think that's going to be one of the evaluations that West Virginia has to look at, is some of the guys that we brought in the transfer portal, because right now it's pretty glaring, right? Ever since the Big 12 play started, um, we've been mismatched and it's been really, really ugly. So I think that's a fair assessment. I think we need to probably open up the pocketbooks a little bit more, because right now we are getting exposed each and every week on national television. So it's really alarming to watch, and it kind of shows you where we are at as a program. Jaheim Heisman will sadly leave for an SEC school. Yeah, I mean that's always a fear now. That's always a fear now with just the climate that we're at, right? I think, as fortunately as West Virginia fans, we've seen it, right, with Hayden Prather and Tyke Smith and Mesidor and Winston Wright, and the list goes on. We've seen our best talent walk out the door, so that's a fear of all West Virginia fans. So far, Jaheim has stayed loyal, but the truth is, each year you have to recruit these guys. So hopefully, these guys like Cam Vaughn and Jaheim stay. But I think West Virginia fans that are realistic are a little bit nervous about that portal window coming, because we kind of know what's happening. Every team we look like looks much bigger and faster. Yeah, I think. Oh, fumble, 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 fumble. Hop on that. Did we get that? All right. The defense has caused like 3 turnovers tonight. Man, if it wasn't for the defense, we'd have like no points. Truthfully, man. Wow. Nice play here. Fred Perry caused that fumble too. It's a shame too. Like it stinks. Like, we're excited to watch these guys make plays, but like all these guys on defense are seniors that are making plays. But yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. We're gonna have to get bigger and stronger. Bum, 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 bum. We need to get the North Texas freshman quarterback. Yeah, I think the portal situation should be really interesting this offseason for West Virginia, to see kind of who they're going to grab for sure. Let's see what happens here. We got the ball. Khalil Wilkins. Can anyone keep stats for me on here of how many quarterback runs we've run tonight? It's gotta be a crazy amount of numbers, man. Khalil Wilkins is gonna have to ice up after this game. He's run the ball probably like 30 times. He has to be our leading rusher. All right. Let's see what happens here. Can we get some momentum at all for this team for the future? Second down. Nice cut, Dior. Nice cut. All right. And they ran off the right side too, which they haven't had much success running off the right side. So nice run by Dior Hubbard there. Fred Perry, man, it's a shame. I feel like we're wasting like Fred Perry's year, Coop. He's gonna go down as like one of my favorite West Virginia players, and it's just gonna be such a forgotten season. It almost reminds me of like Charles Sims. You know how like we had Charles Sims that one year and he rushed for like over 1,000 yards, and was the highlight of that season, but he was on like a really bad team. That kind of reminds me of Fred Perry, like in that situation. Just like Tony Mathis went from starting here to transfer G5. Yeah, Tony Mathis, I was so disgusted when they beat us at Houston. He was dancing in the locker room. You hate to see those guys beat us. Sometimes it is alarming, though, when you see guys transfer schools and they don't even like start like some of our guys. So it's kind of a mixed bag what happens to our guys after they hit the portal. But I always keep an eye on what those guys do. I know like one guy that hasn't got much playing time this year is Traylon, right? At Ole Miss. He's like barely seen the field. Oh, I think he's trying to throw it. Is that Barrick? Yeah, try to throw it to Barrick. I just hope we can look competitive against UCF. Yeah, I think a lot of people have UCF as a one of those games circled on the calendar that we can get our next win. I think that's going to be a massive game for us, because it's after the bye week and we just need some sort of life. Like the second half of the season is going to be important. We can't just nail this thing in the second half. We have to show signs of life to our fan base, because right now it's everyone's heads are down right now watching West Virginia. It truly is. So, all right, third and goal. Let's see what we can do here. Quarterback run. Get in there, Khalil. Touchdown. All right. All right. We'll take it. No flags. All right. We'll take it. Maybe we'll take it. All right. 31-6. This is a two-score game. All right. We're showing signs of life, man. The defense has given the offense a short field. I know that the defense has given up some big plays tonight, but that was good. Run a dang halfback screen. Honestly, you know what I could use right now, Coop, is one of those Neil Brown wide receiver screens. BYU hit us on one of those earlier tonight. I kind of actually think they should try to do that with like Cam Vaughn or something. Yeah, so it's what's going on here? It's always something. Watch, with our luck, they're gonna like say something crazy here. Some loophole rule's gonna happen, and that looks like we're celebrating. All right, here we go. So we're gonna kick the extra point here. Let's see what happens. That's good. All right, cool. All right, hey, listen, can we make this a one-score game? Can we make this kind of interesting? That's like the next question, right? I mean, what? It's 11:06 a.m. right now. Can we make this a one-score game and somehow make this game interesting and give ourselves a fighting shot? I can't. I have the game like very low, so I can talk right now. So if anyone can tell me what's going on with the refs, let me know. I know they're probably talking about it on TV, but all right, 37 seconds to go in the second half. My next question too is, can the defense sustain this? I know West Virginia feels like we've had a tough time like building momentum. There's like times where we get a play and we can't capitalize. Like, all right, you're kind of in this game now. It's a two-score game. Can you get a stop and give your offense a shot and see what happens here? Could this spark us? Cheers, root beer, Mountaineers. Absolutely. Honestly, think Wilkins has potential. Maybe I'm crazy. Definitely has passing. Yeah, I think he'll have to look at silver linings for this stuff, right? Now, Wilkins is. It's interesting what's going to happen with Wilkins the second half of the season, right? If he continues to play and he shows glimmers and he shows decent, do you run him back next year as a starter? I don't know. He would have to have a really good second half. Come on, defense. God, man, special teams this year has just not been great. Anyway, let's go back to some comments. They didn't even call anything. Yeah, I don't even know why they're showing the refs there. You just never know with West Virginia and the Big 12 refs. Like, it always reminds me of what happened to T.J. Simmons against Oklahoma. They called that phantom blocking play out of bounds that got called back. So, all right, defense. Let's see what we got here. Let's see if we can get back in this game. Do the Pat McAfee onside. Hey, anything to spark the team here. All right. Come on, get after him. Get after him. No flags. No flags. Good D. Good D. KK Tarnu. He's struggled a little bit in pass coverage this year, but I like KK. He's been loyal to West Virginia. Nice pressure up front. Jamori Robinson seems like he's been getting some playing time, but haven't seen him. He had like a quarterback hurry earlier in the game, but not too much. It's way too early. Yeah. This is AO Truth. This is definitely like a tryout for Wilkins for next year. He has the first shot at it for next year. That's the way to kind of look at it for me. Wide open. This Kingston kid, and the other kid has killed us tonight. Nice players. BYU's got a good team. It's kind of crazy that BYU has turned the ball over this much. I know Bachmeier going into this game had no turnovers. Yeah, more. Yeah, earlier in the game, I saw he caused some pressure. All right, if you're still watching this, if you're a Mountaineer like me, put the fours up. It's 1:09 in the morning. We're having some fun here. Definitely comment about what you think of this game, what you think about the future of the program. We'll do this in real time. There's no need to wait for the post-game reaction. We have not exactly been playing chumps the last few weeks. Yeah, I think that's a good point, and I think sometimes like that's that's helped West Virginia the last few times that we've been successful, to be honest with you. I was doing a video earlier in the week previewing the game, and the two teams that beat BYU for West Virginia, one was the 2016 team, which had 10 wins, but they truly, if you look at their schedule, like didn't play anybody too difficult. I know they beat Missouri early, like to start the season, and they beat BYU, but they didn't really play too many challenging games. And then they played Miami in a bowl game, didn't look too good. And then 2 years ago, we beat them at home, and that was Neil Brown's best season, but anytime we played a team with a pulse, we got absolutely exposed that year. I remember playing Oklahoma with Dylan Gabriel, and we got absolutely ran out of the stadium. So, yeah, sometimes it's all about the schedule and who you play. I feel like for West Virginia, unfortunately, I think if we're being truthful, we haven't had like a signature win in God knows how long. Like, when's the last time we beat like an elite football program or like a top 10 team? It's been a real long time. And now we're losing to teams that aren't even in the top 25, right? Look at the last few weeks. Like, Kansas and Utah are good, but they're not like Alabama, and we make it look like we're playing Alabama. Um, we're probably a little insane. Yeah, to be on here, AO Truth at 11 a.m. is a little insane. For me, it works out well because I have two kids. I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old and a wife upstairs, so they're sleeping. So usually I watch the games with them, but this is like the one-off that I could actually do something like this, which is kind of cool. And I was kind of like debating on doing it, but then I'm like, you know what? Let's just see who hops on. So it's kind of cool that we're getting some people in here. Pitt this year was a statement win. Not a good team though. Yeah, Pitt. When's the last time Pitt beat like a Power Four school? It's been going back to last season. Eli Holstein, man, he's taken such a step back. It's crazy. I know. I mean, could you imagine like if we didn't win that Pitt game though, we we would be in a real rough spot. So that's one thing that we can look back to this year. I'm actually gonna have Rhett Morris, I think, Don Bosco, offensive lineman, on the show this week, who's a Jersey guy who reached out to me and wanted to come on, and he was down there and he wanted to talk about his visit. So, listen, I saw what's happening with the burner accounts and Mountaineer Paul and all those guys. So, if I have a recruit on this week, don't get mad at me. It's been in the works for a while. He's been on the show before, so I'm not harassing him, but I think he's going to come on this week and talk about his visit. A team like this really needs a little easier team to figure out some things out. Well, the good thing is next year they got the Alabama game off of the schedule. So I think we play like Coastal Carolina and Southern Miss next year and Virginia. So, those are 3 winnable games going into Big 12 play. So yeah. What's Drumwolf? True Mountaineer fans. That's absolutely Drumwolf. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate all the comments. Coop, all you guys coming on here and commenting. It makes it really fun. Like I said, we've only had the channel for I started like May 30th, so it's only been a few months, and I continually see you guys coming on here and commenting, which makes this fun. Doing the live shows is fun, especially doing something like this. So I really appreciate you guys. So we're true Mountaineer fans, and we love it. Yeah, Coop, let's get a stop, man. Let's somehow make this interesting. Let's have something to build on going into the bye week. This is going to be a long next 2 weeks. We can get healthy. Can you make this a 1-score game? Rich Rodriguez always talks about the next play. Well, the next plays are here, man. Let's get it. Coastal Virginia, UT Martin. There you go. Thank you, Coop. Yeah, so Coastal Virginia, UT Martin, 3 winnable games. I think the Virginia game's going to be a neutral site game too in Charlotte, which is a fun venue. I was at fumble out of bounds. I was at the Charlotte game versus Tennessee, which is a cool venue. So if you're a Mountaineer fan and didn't go down last time, definitely check it out. It's a fun time. Coop said, "Let's go," or Drumwolf, "Let's go. Let's go Mountaineers." Absolutely. All right, 2nd and 5. Can we get like a false start or something? Back them up a little bit. This is a massive series right here because they have the ball at the 50 already. Come on, Jamori Robinson, somebody make a play. Let's go. 3rd and long. Let's go. Is that Eddie V? Eddie V. Tony Kidd said, "Has anyone heard announcers tonight say we have been doing too many quarterback runs?" I said it. I said I think we're going to set a record for quarterback runs here tonight. All right, guys, 3rd and 6. Someone make a play. So this would be a great time for a Jamori Robinson sack. Oh, wide open. Oh man, just right over the middle. It's been that type of season. Like, right, we see sometimes we see glimpses of potential, but then it just there's no carry through. Look how nice the pocket is for him there, and just that kid's nice. That Chase Roberts kid, 4 catches, 161 yards. He's a good kid. Um, of course, they start doing something every time I decide I'm about to ready to go to bed. Yeah, they tease us, right? West Virginia teases us, right? It's like that pick game, like teased us and like brought us all back in. And then the next week they're like, never mind, we're actually not good. So, um, look how much time he has to throw the ball. Come on, flag. All right, that's coming back. Back him up. Back him up. Secondary looks awful. Yeah, secondary. This hasn't been their best game. I think this is the most they've tested. Coach Junior. He's been really solid. Though. I'm not going to say much about him. He's been solid, but it's been rough. Looks like a holding call. All right, they're backed up. The only problem is BYU has a really good kicker. So if BYU gets in any sort of field goal position, this could be a 3-score game, and that could be night night for the Mountaineers. Like I said, I just want to see it become like a 1-score game and just be somewhat excited for this second half. We need some excitement. It's been brutal. Although basketball season's like 3 weeks away, so get ready for that. I know I'm excited to watch Eagle staff and those guys this year. See, that's what like a Rich Rodriguez offense should look like right there, right? Running guy in motion, read option, the quarterback takes it. Like hopefully next year that's what we see. I think a lot of the stuff that BYU is doing right now is like a good blueprint for us next year with the right pieces. If you get linemen that are over 300 pounds and get a quarterback that um, has some promise. I mean, look at this guy: 17 for 24, 337 yards, and a touchdown and 1 interception. It's the first time this year he's turned the ball over, and it's like game 5 for them. All right, 2nd and 7. If we have any chance coming back, we need to get a stop here. I feel like we've done a decent job on the running back LJ Martin today. They've been hitting this more with the passes. There's your Moore right there. All right. We'll see what happens here. 3rd and 5. All right, someone's got to make a play here. Someone's got to dig deep here. Zach Elliott always said he likes to when the game's on the line. Like I said, it's just a tease, man. It's just a tease having these players on defense because they're all going to be gone. There's like I said, 10 out of the 11 starters are all seniors and have eligibility. I'm hyped for the B ball. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Step up, step up. He's down. He's short. They're going to kick the field goal, I would think. I don't know. They've been going for a lot tonight, though. I'm hyped for basketball classic. Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm excited just to watch them in general. I'm actually low key excited for them to play Lafayette and Lehigh. I live in Phillipsburg, New Jersey, which is on the border of Pennsylvania, and Lafayette and Lehigh are the 2 schools that are like 2 minutes down the road from me. So it'll be kind of cool to see West Virginia take on them. And I wonder how many times BYU's gone for it on 4th down tonight. It's been a lot. Come on, let me get a false start or something. Did he get it? Let's see. Got it. Give it to the West. Come on, football gods. Give us one. Give us one. Nope. BYU too, like they've controlled the clock so much in the second half. You can see what they're doing offensively. They're just kind of deflating the ball here in the second half. I live in Chattanooga area. Watch Honor Huff. Yeah, Honor Huff. What he led the nation last year in 3-pointers, right? Oh, wide open. Yeah, Honor Huff led the nation in 3-pointers last year. So I'm excited to watch him. I actually think that we're going to have a really good scoring team. So usually West Virginia's kind of built on defense, and I know their coach Hodge is built on defense, but I think we have some guys that can fill the basket this year that we can rely on in the Big 12. I'm really excited to see what this team does this year. We are on the verge of going 2 games in a row without a punt. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point there. Yeah, the defense has kind of lost their swagger a little bit. They did cause 3 turnovers tonight, and they did hold us in the game, believe it or not, and give us some short fields, but ultimately it's not enough. Touch, 1 yard short. We'll stay on here until the end of the game. We'll stay on for the last 9 minutes, see what anyone else does. Yeah, Eagle staff. I'm excited for him, man. He put up like 50 points last year in Alabama. I mean, Alabama is one of the best teams in the country, so I don't care who you are. If you do that, you're legit. Especially if a team's keying on you, if you're the best player on their team. I think he went to the NBA Combine and they said they just have to work on his defense a little bit. But I'm excited to watch Eagle staff this year. Honor Huff, all those guys. I can't wait. Especially with the football season the way it's going. So we need some sort of excitement. Touchdown. Yeah, it's kind of like you guys said, man. Sometimes we're just getting pushed around here. BYU's offense is so big, man. It's just we're so far away from competing in the Big 12. Man, we are like the new Kansas. It stinks. Perry has been the team's MVP. Yeah, Fred Perry, man. It's a shame that guy doesn't have more eligibility. Like I said, if you weren't in here before, I said the Fred Perry situation reminds me of Charles Sims. Not obviously they play 2 different positions and 2 sides of the ball, but Charles Sims had like 1,000 yards rushing for West Virginia, transferring from Houston, and he was like the one bright spot. But unfortunately, like he was like the only bright spot that season. Well, I guess it's time to go to bed. My question is to you guys: do you guys think this team's worse than the 2013 team? Like I said, I think the only difference between the 2013 team is that they had so many pieces coming back next year that like you could kind of see it coming together a little bit. Like they had Kevin White, Mario Alford, Carl Joseph was on that team, Clint Trickett. They had some pieces coming back the next year. It was a different era where now, man, you have so many seniors on this team. We're going to be doing the portal thing again next year. Maybe not as much, but there's definitely going to be a large number of guys that we have to get out of the portal. So it's really hard to find anything positive right now going on with the team. I hate to say that. I tried to. I mean, especially I just started the show, so I always want to be positive talking about the team. I don't want to bash players and bash the coach and be negative, but I don't really have too many options right now. I kind of have to keep it real. I think the Big 12 is not a good fit for WVU. Yeah, Tony, I was there for the transition. My first year of school there was the Big East when we won the Orange Bowl. And then they actually announced on my birthday that we're going to transfer to the Big 12. And ever since then, that's kind of been not the death of the football because we've had our moments, but it's definitely where we lost our consistency as a winning program for sure. I think that's fair to say. And I think the scary thing is about Rich Rod coming back to West Virginia is he did that in the Big East, and now he has to prove it in the Big 12. And right now, his first Big 12 games haven't looked great, but let's give him some time. Rich Rod does know what he's doing. I mean, we have to trust him, but I think it's going to be an eye opener of this era and this league, how tough it is and what they're going to have to get in the portal. More like 35 plus transfers next year. I actually think it might even be more than that. Like I said, you have so many answers. You have more questions than answers right now, at pretty much every position. And the first thing you have to do is retain your players for next year. Make sure that the top players come back. And then after that, you're going to have to go out and get an entire new defense because everyone's a senior and out of eligibility, except for like maybe like Ashton Woods and like Nick Taylor. And then offensively, you're going to probably need some offensive line pieces. You're going to need a new quarterback most likely. I don't know. A lot of positions we could use a lot of thing. Next season might be tough as well. Yeah, so someone actually hopped in the comments and one of like the older school West Virginia fans like got in like almost like a debate with me and kind of got upset at me and kind of took my comments the wrong way. I said next year, Rich Rod's going to be under a lot more pressure next year. And I'm not saying that after 2 years he should be gone at all. Like I trust Rich Rod, like on the record I do, but I do think next year there's going to be a bigger push and much more pressure on him to get this thing rolling in the right direction and to show us glimmers of hope and get us back to like seeing it on the field. It's one thing to win the press conference, but we actually have to see it on the field to have some belief. So I think it's fair to say that next year, like pressure is going to be on a little bit to turn this around. This year, whatever, you have 80 new players, we're injured. Okay. But next year, it's definitely not saying we have to win the Big 12 next year, but we definitely need to see some improvement. Let me guys know about that because I had to like defend myself because this guy was not happy that I said that, but I think it's truthful at this point. I think most fans would feel that way. Um, Rich Rod was first season was 3-9. Yeah, he absolutely was. And the thing with that team and stuff is that they showed at the end of the season there were some wins that they had, and there were some building blocks at the end of the season that they had. So we have to see with this team and this culture, the second half of the season, like, can you go out and win some games? Those UCF and Colorado games might not look important to the national media because we're not going to be in contention for anything. But for us as a fan base, like we want to see us beat some Big 12 teams. So those games are going to be important, what kind of effort they have. Because one thing they've talked about since Rich Rod's been the coach is the effort and the hard edge. Well, you show hard edge when your back's against the wall. So we need to see a team that's still bought in here after the bye week, get healthy and things like that. But we need to start finding our offensive identity, and we need to start seeing some hard edge football like they talked about, because I think a lot of people are going to be frustrated. Coos said that it's like next year's Rich Rod is on the hot seat. Yeah, and that's the one dude got mad at me for kind of alluding to that. And I'm not trying to say that Rich Rod should be on the hot seat, but I think in reality, just seeing the temperature of the fan base and seeing what other media members are saying, in my opinion, I think he's gonna see a lot more pressure, and I think that's probably fair with all the expectations that have been here. And like I said, I don't think we need to win the Big 12, but I think we at least need to look like a team that belongs in the Big 12. We can't go through another season like this. And it's going to be really challenging, like I said, because it's not like the 85 or 81 new players we brought in are underclassmen. Like there are a lot of them are seniors. They kind of like bet on these guys to win now. And it's just not happening right now. It doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. So yeah, I think next year's in a tricky spot. I wonder if our expectations are a little bit lowered next year. Like I know for me, like I was saying, like 7 wins this year I've been happy with. Now I don't know, 6 or 5, I guess. I mean, even 4 I take because it's going to be that difficult. Maybe next year get back to 500, and maybe by year 3 you're looking at 7 or 8 wins. I think that's okay. I don't know what other fans or expectations are going to be. It's going to be really tough. Let me know what your expectations are for next year. I'd love to hear from you guys. We have to snag. Um, we have to snag it 4 more wins for a small bowl game. Yeah, absolutely. That's not a commercial. Look good. Coops. Yeah, it did look good. It's funny. Really, college football isn't interesting to me as it used to be, is watching who can buy the most players. So I can't really read that. Watching to see who can buy the most wins isn't that exciting. They rip the pride and soul. Yeah, I feel that, man. I think it's hard to stomach, and I think as West Virginia fans, it's one of the things that we're kind of like self-conscious about. Like, can we win in this new landscape? Because let's face it, we haven't won in this new landscape, right? Ever since all these changes have been made since COVID, like post-COVID, like it has not been in our favor at all, and it's really concerning what's happened to our program. So I think that's another question that we have is the Big 12 was that the right fit for us? And then this next thing is this portal error. All right, Jeffrey Weimer, we'll take it. Yeah, the NIL effect. Like I said, I think it's a major concern, and I think sometimes other fan bases like they think that like, oh, West Virginia could never win with the NIL, and I kind of got offended by it at first, but now I'm starting to get like really concerned just because like the product on the field that we're seeing has not been the same over the last 7 years. I mean, you look back at some of the guys that we had, even going back to like Will Greer and some of those guys, it just looks different. We look different on TV when we go out there. That was a good catch by Jeffrey Weimer Coop. Hudson Clement, looking play. Yeah, unfortunately, I would probably take Hudson Clement back right now. I know he has had a so-so season in Illinois, but he was a good player. It's a shame that he left. Um, I don't know. The grass isn't always greener though. I know, like I said, Traylon Ray hasn't done much, but then you see guys like Trotter and Lathan excelling. It all kind of depends on the player. All right. So 38-17, obviously we're not going to win this one, but can you put back-to-back drives together going into a bye week with some scores here to give yourself some confidence? I mean, Khalil Wilkins has gotten better as this game has gone on. Um, let's see what we have here. Quarterback draw. All right. Show some get up. Tony Kidd, we have an aging fan base who doesn't understand that it's not 2002. You have to work the portal. Can't just get high school players. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's like some of the hard things like to explain sometimes to people. Because I try to engage with everybody, especially being like a small channel. I try to like engage with people and stuff. And it's sometimes it's like hard to explain that to people. Like, hey, man, like um, this isn't like 1970 or 1980. Like we have to evolve as a program. So like that's why you see things like sponsorships on the field and on the Coliseum. Like that's just the tip of the iceberg. We have like a long way to go. So I appreciate that comment because I think it's definitely true. And it's like one of the more like frustrating things that I see talking to our fan base sometimes because we do have an aging fan base. If you look at like the analytics on my shows and stuff, like a lot of my fan base is like above the age of like 55 and 65 years old. Like there's not too many young people in it. I don't think I've like touched into like the actual like college fan base at all. I think it's all like older, like passionate West Virginia fans. That's a really good point, Tony. Well, there's a spot back in his home state for Hudson. Yeah. Listen, you never know. I mean, what was it? Emmett Matthews, right? Emmett Matthews came back, left West Virginia and came back. I really thought that like Winston Wright was going to come back. Winston Wright was really successful here and went to Florida State. Unfortunately, had an injury. I think it was like unrelated to football. I thought he'd come back, but he ended up going to East Carolina and having a decent career. Old fans. I'm 47. Understand that we have to evolve. Yeah, yeah. You have to. I mean, especially if you're an educated West Virginia fan. Um, if you're an educated fan, you kind of and you do this and you read and you research and you just look. Um, it's inevitable. You have to, especially now. Hopefully, they can get more parameters on that. Coop, I didn't realize that you're that young. That's awesome. I'm glad that you're a diehard Mountaineer fan, man. Starting young. I didn't get into the Mountaineers until I was like 18 because I'm a New Jersey guy. So once I went to school there, I was full in. And then, but even before then, though, like I always respected West Virginia because they had Pat White and Steve Slayton, and like for us, like in New Jersey, there are so many kids that went there. Is that who's down? Is that Livingston? We're like snake bitten team. This is ridiculous. Yeah, it's Landon Livingston. He's had some really bad injury luck this year. Where are they? You have a bunch of family in New Jersey. Where are they from? Definitely love to hear that. New Jersey's a small state, so I feel I like know pretty much every part of New Jersey. So, yeah, New Jersey has a big West Virginia a lot of West Virginia. Sorry, I'm trying to talk. New Jersey has a lot of kids that go to West Virginia. So sometimes we get some flack from people. I see the comments online. I'm sure not everyone loves a New Jersey guy talking about the Mountaineers, but I'm passionate. I love the Mountaineers, so I decided to start the channel. Um, bum, 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 bum. Yeah, so Coop, my kids, I have two young ones, and I brainwash them. They sing country roads, and they want me to play Hail West Virginia, the fight song all the time in the car. Um, my stepmom was from New Jersey. Yeah, let me know what town. Big surprise, he's her. Anthony Davis. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, I'm on the border of Newark, New Jersey. Actually, I used to work in Newark, New Jersey. Tony, my first job out of college was with the New Jersey Devils, and they're located in Newark. I sold some season tickets for them. I was actually a journalism major at West Virginia, so never got into it. I'm actually a teacher now, but what's it called, decided to start the show and get back into my journalism thing because I do have a degree from West Virginia in journalism, so I decided to go back to that. But yeah, Newark, New Jersey, right there. New Brunswick, New Jersey. Yeah, so that's where Rutgers is located. So it's central New Jersey and New Brunswick. It's too bad that we don't play Rutgers anymore. I miss having them on the schedule, especially living 45 minutes from there. Late hit. I also miss when West Virginia used to play the basketball games at Madison Square Garden. There's this place called Jack Doyle's. It's a West Virginia alumni establishment, and a lot of alumni go there. It's really fun. So if West Virginia ever plays at MSG for basketball, if you're ever looking for a good time, go to Jack Doyle's, about 2 blocks from MSG. It's a good time. I bet Rutgers isn't glad they play. Yeah, you know what's funny, Tony, is like, living in New Jersey, I'm telling you, this is not even an exaggeration. When I drive down the highway, there is way more West Virginia stickers on cars than there is Rutgers, and it's like not even close. I would say like it's like Penn State's probably number one for where I live, and then like Notre Dame and like West Virginia is probably like third. That's how many people go there. Just man, we got to fix that offensive line next year, man. We really do. It's brutal. It's brutal. All right, guys. So it's 11:36. I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay up until the very end here. Maybe we'll take a few questions as we close this up at the end. Let's see if our guys can give us a reward for staying up late, almost at 2 o'clock in the morning. That could have been a possible late hit right there too. Tell you what, I mentioned earlier, the glossy helmets look good. That's a late hit. That's like the definition of a late hit. Dude, Khalil Wilkins is going to be sore. It's a good thing we have a bye week after this one. That guy's been getting crushed all game. Look at BYU still hyping up the crowd. It's like 38-17. They're still into it. Yeah, Cooper, that took Scotty out too early after that run he had. We're going to call a timeout here. Is that a timeout on BYU? Yeah, Tony, I think this is I actually think this was something to build off of a little bit tonight. I mean, it sounds ridiculous that like that's like where we are as a program, that it's 38-17 and that um we have a positive out of that, but it's kind of where the season's at. You have to kind of look at these games and find this. So I think we've shown some decent things. I think they fought hard. I don't have the same taste in my mouth as I did the last 2 weeks for sure. Um, we made it kind of interesting, so we'll take it. Um, Coop, we're gonna run a quarterback draw. That'd be the least surprising thing of the night. Like I said, I'm sure like the post game pod like with Mike Kazazza, they do a really good job with stats, or like even like three guys. They'll probably have some sort of stat like how many quarterback draws we ran tonight. It was a ton. It was definitely a ton, but we'll see what they draw up here. I don't know. I think they should go to Grayson Barnes here. Let's do a predictions real quick. If we score a touchdown here, who do you think it goes to? I'm gonna say Grayson Barnes. I'm gonna say they're gonna do like a little like a read option fake and then dump it to Grayson Barnes in the end zone. Let me guys know who you think it's going to. Coop said this play caller looks like a 6-year-old playing Madden with Lamar Jackson. Yeah, just kind of running around, or always like running the running the Hail Mary play. Coop thinks Khalil Wilkins. Yeah, he's betting on the draw here. I think Grayson Barnes. It's kind of crazy, man. We only saw Ty Edwards. Let's talk about that. We only seen Ty Edwards for 2 carries tonight. I think that's it. Hubbard on a jet sweep. How about like Rodney Gallagher on a jet sweep? I don't think we've seen. Rodney caught the one pass early in the game. Rodney caught the pass right, and then we threw basically a pick six the next drive. It wasn't a pick six because Wilkins tackled him, but it was essentially that. So maybe to Rodney. Drumwolf says Hubbard. Sounds like everyone's riding the Hubbard bandwagon. He's looked pretty decent tonight. Seems like he's kind of out of Rich Rod's doghouse now. Definitely a surprise quarterback draw they haven't seen all night. Yeah, yeah. Oh man, that's a funny comment. That is funny. I don't know. I'm still gonna say Grayson Barnes. Honestly, Drumwolf, Bowie has looked decent on the sweeps this year. He's that's where they've used him good, and I know he's a fan favorite because he's from Martinsburg, West Virginia. So I know that wouldn't be a bad call there either. Um, put in Max Brown. Yeah, Max Brown. It's an interesting one. We haven't seen him. We've seen him for like one play, then he got hurt and came out of that game. I don't know, but based on everything that we've seen, I doubt Max Brown's in the future plans for West Virginia. All right, let's see what's gonna happen here. Oh, Coop! You're 1 yard. There you go, and Brian. Yeah, that's right. Called it. All right, so what do we do on fourth down? I think this is a Ty Edwards situation, right? Or is that too obvious to put Ty Edwards? Or maybe we'll see that heavy package. Is that what we're doing? We're gonna do the heavy package here, like we saw against Pitt. Come on, let's get this one. Let's get some momentum going into the bye week. Oh, I think they are doing the heavy package here. Oh, flag, flag. Can anyone update me on how many passing yards we have tonight? It's got to be like in the 80s, right? I don't even know. Wow. All right, what do we do here? Because that heavy package wasn't working. Man, maybe do the Philadelphia Eagles tush push here. The only problem is our offensive line just doesn't get much push. All right, we're an inch away. This is show me what hard edge is about and get an inch. Can we get an inch for hard edge? Tony Kidd, yeah, quarterback draw. Why not? Oh my God, come on! Who? Why did BYU calling timeouts? It's 11:42 on the East Coast. Come on. Well, I have more time to think about the play that you'd run. Quarterback power, quarterback draw. You guys have been watching too much Ridge Rod football. They should just put Pat White in for one player, Rasheed Marshall. Just have him dress up, come out for one play. They can. You never know. They can just have him sign like a appeal for a waiver and try to get it. Coop said we have 81 yards passing. Man, that's just crazy. Remember when I said we had Geno Smith? We used to put 70 yards up a game. Now we're down to 80 yards passing in one game. Oh man, it can't be like that next year. I can tell you that much. 81 yards passing. Yeah, it is. It is bad. It is bad, especially when like. All right, so if we all right, let's talk about that in a second because it's fourth and goal. Do we have time? All right, so let's talk about that real quick. So all off season, all we heard though was like we have five quarterbacks that we can win with, and they kept saying that but now, like I said, it doesn't even look like we have one. So 81 yards passing when you do say something like that is alarming. I think it's a fair statement. And like I said, especially when you look back at I was like the Dana years, and we used to throw for like 600, 700 yards a game. All right, let's see what hard edge football looks like here. Can we get this into the end zone? Did he get in? Let's get to this comments. I don't even have any words. If you have quarterbacks, you mean we have no quarter? Yeah, if we have too many quarterbacks, I think that's what you're trying to say, Tony. If you have too many quarterbacks, you mean you have no quarterback? Yeah, I think that was everyone's biggest fear going into the season, right? Is that all right? Are these five? Are we just do we just have five legit quarterbacks on our roster that everyone's gonna be with, or should we be concerned that like not one of them is separating themselves? The fact that like no one separated themselves should have been a little bit of a cause for concern. Um, yeah, I agree. Dude, we can't move the ball an inch. That's what I'm saying, Brian. Like we talk about hard edge, and again, listen, this is a frustrating 11:45 that I'm giving you my thoughts. I'm not panicking for next year, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't sit well when we talk about hard edge and all this stuff, and you can't even get like how many we have what 8 plays down by the goal line and can't even get it in. Um, yeah, yeah, I got you. I feel you. Five quarterbacks. Yeah, Coop, I feel you, but unfortunately, we got half the season left, and these guys are making some big boy money now. So they still gotta show up and represent the university, um, this year. So this game wasn't a total loss, though. Like I think someone said it. At least we competed. It doesn't look like on the scoreboard, but there are some small things to take out of this game. Moving on in the future, we get to the bye week, and like I said, we got through kind of a really tough part of the schedule. Hopefully, can we beat a UCF? Can we beat a Colorado? I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully. All right, 2 minute warning. 2 minute warning. Appreciate you guys. We've been on for like 56 minutes. I appreciate you guys. I just had a Kerwin text me that he's done football this season. Yeah, I'm actually a Giants fan. So because I live in New Jersey, obviously, so I'm a big Giants fan. So, Saturdays and Sundays have been really rough for me, not only this year, but just like the last like bunch of years. I get so excited for football season, and I hype everybody up, and I was hyping all the Mountaineer fans up about this team. After it's the first week of October, and I'm already like, all right, like when's hockey season coming? When's basketball season coming? It's been tough. Um, yeah, it's like the one thing about living in New Jersey. It's definitely more of like a pro sports area. A lot of people love the Giants and the Eagles and the Jets. So college football is not as big here. But I would say West Virginia is my favorite because I went to school there and they represent me. So I love West Virginia. Coop's Ravens fan. Yeah, Ravens. There's like an up and down team. I love them though, man. I know. I teach fourth grade, and a lot of the kids love Lamar Jackson. They love Derrick Henry. The Ravens have been so solid the last, ever since I remember, ever since like the year 2000 when they beat my Giants in the Super Bowl. The Ravens have always been solid. They have a really good organization. So I don't know. We'll see. The Giants play the Saints on Sunday with and Jackson Dart did some good things, but of course, as soon as the Giants win, Malik Neighbors tears his ACL. I'm also a Mets fan, and they got knocked out like a day later. So the first Giant win I couldn't even enjoy. Missed the good old days when it was at least mid October, and we had before we gave up on football. Yeah, it was like what's it called? Like I don't know. Like you'd get to a point like all right, you're 7-0, then you like lose a game to like Syracuse or Louisville. That'd be like deflating, but you're like, all right, well, at least like we'll make a bowl game. Like this is bad, and we're probably not going to finish with a winning record. And I think it's 4 out of the last 5 seasons that we haven't finished with a winning record. And I really thought this year was important for West Virginia, not to win the Big 12, but just to get us back in the right direction. And I think we've done the opposite. I think we're going in the wrong direction right now, unfortunately. So, like I said, I'm not giving up on the team or anything like that, but there are concerning things, and there's no easy answers right now. Boom, 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 boom. I feel you there, Brian. I always feel like the last 2 minute commercial is always the longest. I'm just like ready to put this game to bed and go to bed, but we'll see what happens. Those last two things. Do we have any timeouts left? Do we use any? Tony the Kid, I'm a Panthers fan. I feel your pain. Yeah, it's been brutal. The Panthers, man, they had that window at Cam Newton. They were so good with Cam Newton. I really thought the year they played Denver, they were going to win that Super Bowl, but a few things happened in that game, and it just didn't happen. So Bachmeier's a good kid, though. I think Bachmeier looked really well. All right, 3rd and 8. Can we get the ball back, especially in like a short area? All right, call timeout. Let's get the ball back. Let's do something on offense. Do you throw Scotty Fox in here for poops and giggles? Just see what he can do. Uh, how much difference does the team look if we were able to keep at least 20 of those kids who were under Brown? Yeah, I think as a fan, maybe we're in some denial at first about that, right? Because so many players left. I mean, there were some really talented players that left. Tomas Remack, uh, Johnny Williams, Schroeder, Traylon Ray, Hudson Clement. Um, just a lot of talented players. I think the more interesting question would have been if Neil Brown would have came back, which I think sounds ridiculous at this point, but if he did, how many of those guys would have left, even if Neil was back, right? So if say Neil Brown came back, does like C.J. Donaldson come back? Does Shia Trotter come back? Does Lathan come back? That we'll never know that, right? But that would have been kind of interesting to see like who would have came back if Neil was back. But I don't know. That I'm over the Neil Brown era. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. But just brutal. I really miss Garrett Green. Yeah, I think Garrett Green. There's a few people out there, and I disagree with this wholeheartedly. Some people are like, oh, we should have put Nico at quarterback and Garrett Green at slot receiver. It's like, dude, like Garrett Green the 2 years ago was on fire. Like he was making like play after play. Like Garrett Green's gonna go down as one of the better quarterbacks we've had in recent memory. And that's not saying much because we haven't had much, but could you imagine if Garrett had a chance to run in this offense, he would have done it right. Hey, I called it. I said, give Scotty Fox a chance, and he comes in for the last quarter. Nice throw right there. There you go. I don't know. Scotty's looked decent in the game. The times he's got in today. It's been a short sample size. Nice throw. All right. They're talking about some of the stuff we're talking about right now with the landscape. I can hear him in the background talking about that. Yes, Coop. It's funny you say that, but I've seen worse than Daggy. I mean, there's some years that there's been worse. Up touchdown, Scotty Fox, dude. Oh yeah, you can't make it up. You can't make it up, man. Real quick, let's talk about this. So after week 1, everyone's like, "All right, Nico's a quarterback." After week 2, everyone's like, "I don't know if Nico's a quarterback. We lost to Ohio." After week 3, everyone's like, "Nico's the quarterback because we beat Pitt." And then after week 4, we're like, "Maybe it's Jalen Henderson's time." And then after week 5, we're like, maybe it's Khalil Wilkins' time. And now after week 6, we're gonna be like, yeah, maybe it's Scotty Fox's time. Oh man, you can't make it up. All right. Wow. Let's look at this graphic here on the two stints at the same school. Johnny Majors, John Robinson, Bill Snyder, Mike Riley, Greg Schiano. Yeah, I don't know. All right, let's spark a new debate before we head out of here because it's running late. Who should be the quarterback against UCF? Because you know it's going to be talked about all week. All right, should it be Scotty Fox or should it be Khalil Wilkins? I don't know. Based on what I saw, I think it might be Scotty Fox. I'm jumping on the bandwagon. That was pretty impressive. Tony Kidd said Wilkins. I don't know. I like what Fox did tonight, though. I don't know. Johnny Majors eat. It's funny. Scotty Fox. Yeah, I think Scott. I don't know. Scotty Fox. I don't know. He just has those spark plays. I don't know. I feel like the ceiling's high with him. Like I know it was against Robert Morris, but that run he had was incredible. And obviously he had some tough times against Pitt, but he's like really flashed. I don't know. Maybe Scotty Fox is. I don't know. I don't get ahead of myself. I must. I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. We'll see how he does the rest of the season. Max Brown, because why not? Yeah. Listen, Brian. That's the way that the season's going. That makes the most sense. I just told you. Everyone, Nico, week one, everyone's like Nico's the guy. Week two, everyone's like, I don't know. I don't know if Nico's the guy. Scotty Fox might be the guy. Then after week three, everyone's like, well, Nico's the guy again. And then week four was what? Kansas. Everyone's like, Jalen Henderson might be the guy. And then last week, everyone's like, Khalil Wilkins. And now everyone's going to be like, actually, I think Scotty Fox. And then Brian is going to predict for next week. He's going to say, actually, Max Brown. Yeah, why not? Oh, my God. Come on. Don't give up a touchdown here. Yeah, he's averaging 100 yards a game, LJ Martin. We probably have time for one more play. And then we'll get out of here since it is 1:56. We're gonna get done before 2 o'clock. Look at that. Is BYU gonna try to run up the score here? They don't usually do that. Offsides. Yeah, I don't want to see the 40 on our team. People might look at this game and be like, all right, I get 38-24 sounds a lot better than 46 or 45 to 24. Yeah, Tony. Yeah, I think every team, I think every Big 12 team we've played is safe to say they were the better team. Unfortunately, that's just kind of where we're at. All right. All right, guys, listen. This was a lot of fun. I definitely won't do this all the time because like I said, I have two young kids and a wife, so it's hard to like ditch them for an hour entertaining people. But this was a lot of fun. I really appreciate you guys, man. I really appreciate you guys subscribing. If you guys like the show, man, please pass it to other people. We're trying to grow this thing and make it fun. I really appreciate you guys, man. Sleep tight. Have a great rest of your weekend. Let's go Mountaineers. We'll talk this week. Maybe our next video will be about Scotty Fox and that quarterback debate. Really appreciate you guys. Have a good one.